It's probably half of us.
Sit down. Folks, please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight. We ask that you would bless this occasion with your presence. Thank you for each one who serves our town here tonight. Pray that you give them wisdom. Pray that you would bring cooperation and ability to work together, ability to have conversation over ideas and issues, and to reach wise decisions. So give them wisdom, strength, collegial atmosphere of relationship. And just pray your blessing upon each one. Bless them and their families as well. I pray all these things in your name. Amen.
Thank you.
Teacher sign in.
Okay, I'll entertain, I think you've all had a chance to see the minutes. I'll entertain a motion to pass minutes as published.
So, second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passed. Floor time. Folks, anybody care to address the board?
Thank you for the farmer's market.
Oh, good. Our first farmer's market down in Veterans Plaza was this Wednesday. It'll be the first and third Wednesday of each month for the next couple months, so please take advantage of it. If not, highway report, please.
Yeah, I know a couple things. Yeah, every time. Oh, about a month or two ago, I went out and I looked at how much seed mulch we had, and we had probably at least half what we ordered last year, and I figured we were good for this year. And well, lo and behold, the county came and borrowed it as they have, they probably, between that and us for using it. And they had a project, they had it almost all week, and I went out and looked, and we've only got about a ton of seed left. And last year we had 6 tons, so did put a notice the bid should be coming out in the paper, but to try to speed that up, I think we have the bid openings on July 21st. I kind of like not to have to wait for our next meeting to approve the bid. I did stop and talk with Graydon, and that is covered through the CWC grant reimbursement. So I don't know whether.
Who did we get from last time?
Seedway.
Are you expecting that price?
I did, I spoke with him today, actually, he phoned, and he said, you know, you really have to bid it because a lot of other ones don't bid it when it's the same price as the year before, but it's been longer than a year. Just so if we needed it next year, we need to get it for 1 year, we need to apply. We got it before that, but it was bid out in like March or April of last year. And they were the only bid. I'm not saying that they are, but they would do it, it sounds like they would do it for the same price. But they do have a copy of the bid specs.
Okay. And you're looking to get board approval, but we don't know what the.
I don't know whether we're gonna have, we have the bid openings are gonna be, I think it's the 21st, it's a Friday. I don't have my calendar. And it'll be like 2 weeks before that, but I kinda like to get it, we don't normally do it that way, but you know what's gonna be needed, whether it can be pre-approved.
Without having an amount,
acceptable,
it's kind of hard
or
to
have a special meeting.
We probably have
I
a
still have a special meeting, and August meeting's gonna be early anyhow.
And maybe it wouldn't make any difference, but, I mean, all of a sudden, they went through a ton of seed. Literally a ton of seed, not figuratively.
When you say borrow, do we get reimbursement, do they get it back, or is it somehow?
We charge $10 per hour on that. That is from a grant from 6 years ago. The city of New York bought that for us, the DEP bought it. And in the deliverables of that was any municipality in Delaware County who is in the watershed, and there's a few other caveats to it. Can use another municipalities have used it, yeah. But the county seems to, and the town of Walton, the ones who use it the most.
The money goes into a fund for maintenance on the machine.
That's $10,
The
correct, and it's
$10.
up to, I have to see, probably 2,000. You had to buy a valve now and then, you put a battery in it. The jack handle broke on it, that $10 is for maintenance fee. But just let you aware that it's out there. The other thing is, a couple weeks ago, probably a couple months ago, Kim from the CWC sent an email about stormwater grants that they have. I guess I'll read this. Was actually sent to Charlie, and there's a few other ones that went to. I've reviewed my records of Town of Walton and Village that have completed a planning and assessment plan. The town and villages of Walton have yet to complete one. We still have funding for this, and I highly recommend that both the town and village take advantage of this program before applying for funding for a retrofit project. Not only will this help the village and town score higher when their application is viewed, it is also identified other areas of concern for possible other projects. I have attached the application. Please look it over. You will need numbers from an engineer for them to do the planning and assessment. And actually, it's a competitive grant program. Stormwater, we've had some grants for like Murphy Hill. It's been quite a few years. We had 4 other projects and do that. What I think what they're looking for is they'd like us to go through, as Irene, I think it's a great idea, to have an engineering firm come in and put in an application to see if we could get money to go out and do an assessment and planning for our culverts, catch basins. The comprehensive grant program offers funding to counties, towns, and villages in the west of the Hudson watershed to conduct comprehensive assessment of existing public stormwater infrastructure with the goal to identify and prioritize areas where best management practices can be beneficial. Excuse me. Applications through the stormwater retrofit program are accepted throughout the year. CWC funds can be used to compile a database to locate individual stormwater structures and describe their conditions and repairs needed. To the CWC and the DEP joint review and prioritize projects.
When is the deadline for the,
There is really no deadline. It's kind of an ongoing
because
thing.
you know we'd have to hire an engineer to come do it, so we have to spend money that we don't know that we're gonna get back. Correct?
Well, yeah, Steve asked that, Steve Dutcher emailed her back in a month or two
Yeah,
ago.
it's been a couple months now.
And her response to that saying, pull out kind of what is it all about. This is not for your comprehensive plan. This is an assessment of your stormwater controls, conveyances, culverts, catch basins, and identify areas that need stormwater controls. The report lists them all and their condition. It makes recommendations in order of priority, and it makes an application for a retrofit grant more appealing during review if the project was one that was identified in the P&A report. Lamont has done several for other towns. There is no local match required, so the town and village have nothing to lose.
So they pay for the engineering firm to come in and, okay.
The application process, help me out on this.
Yeah, I talked to Kim about it
Yeah.
last week. She said that the application, it is very technical, and that's why you need an engineering firm or an engineer to do it, because it's so technical. That part of that, usually what they do is they include their services in preparing that in their overall bid, so that if the grant's approved, that would go towards
So what if the grant's not approved?
then that would be, it would depend on how we worked it out with the
On the
engineering.
past 4 projects that we did, the engineering firm got themselves familiar with that. They did the application process, the whole thing from soup to nuts.
You know,
All of them were approved, and there was no out-of-pocket money for the town. I don't know, I thought we had some kind of an understanding that if they were not successful, or we were not successful in getting that, the fees would be waived, but I don't know that.
And that'd be one of the things, if the board is okay with going forward, then the
Right.
next step would be to contact an engineering firm, let them know we're interested.
And talk about
What
it.
do we
This is,
have?
we're not actually stepping, I
Right,
don't wanna
right,
step
yeah.
right into it yet. What I wanna do, I'm trying to get feedback here, and is this something we wanna look into?
Yeah.
We have been successful in 4 other projects, like I say, over the years over here. The only thing is we did have some resident complaints that had a little problem more with the contractor that was doing, but we were able to work those out. And all those projects, like Murphy Hill, where they had all that water, I mean, not down at the end where it comes into Craft, but on Murphy Hill itself, all the rock that was laid in and the geotextile and what have you. It's been there 10 years, and there is actually a maintenance fund with that, a certain percentage of that. I think after one of the events, we had to rearrange rocks on one of them once, so there's basically been no maintenance, and there is. And I speculate that's all probably pretty much the same.
I think it's worth doing, and if there's no, cost to the town in the end, I mean, I just didn't want to hire an engineering firm, do this whole thing, and then get no money.
And that's exactly what, I don't want to do that either.
That was the email I sent.
Like I say, this
That
is
was
a
my
town,
concern.
what I'd like to try to do, and Kimberly, when talking to Charlie, the town is so large, it's over 100 square miles, that maybe do part breaking up a little bit. Now, on the flatter areas, our culverts, our the ditches and like this, but you get some of the steeper ones when we get this torrential rain and all the volume of water and the energy, it keeps gouging out when it comes off the banks. Used to only see that in the, after the snow melt and have a rain in the springtime, we'd see water run off the bank every which way. Well, we see a lot more of that, and it does come down and it brings materials down, gravels, fines and everything else. Comes down and leaves and plugs up culverts, and we're constantly chasing those. So the hope is to identify all those areas, come up with a solution, have an engineer look at it and get something that's gonna last, instead of going out and fix the results of all those, try to fix the cause of something.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
If the
I
board's
don't know if I
okay.
really need a motion, I do
No,
want.
I think
I
since
think
the
we should
board's.
move forward with my question.
And I mean, we could, well, Lamont Engineering there, we had good luck, I think, with the engineering firm that we used the last time, and I believe John's still working for them. I think he's moved up. He might not be the one out in the field, he's moved up in that division.
Lamont's well recognized in this
Yeah.
field.
And the company that we used was out of Syracuse.
I'm good with that. I'd like to go back and address the bidding on the seed. I think, and I don't know whether or not this passes muster, but I think if the bid was within 5% of what was the last time out when we went through bidding, that I would be okay with pre-approving it. And if it's more than that, then I would recommend that we have a special meeting to review the bids. And if the low bid came within 5%, I think it probably should, based on what the economy is around and
Last year, the
Cost of
reason it
living
went
and
up
stuff.
was because there was something with the clover, and clover cost more, or I don't remember exactly what, but there was some.
But I think if it's within a reasonable parameters, if it's 5%, or I would think that we would not have, we could pre-approve it. So, what do you think there, Madam Clerk?
Well, I
You're
was
the
gonna say,
specialist when it comes to bidding, so.
what is the cutoff? Is there a cutoff that we would have to have this approved for in order to get the funding from CWC?
No, there is no, well,
Well, the funding's not coming from, wait a minute, we're mixing our apples and oranges.
absolutely, this would be the stream,
This is the seed.
stream quarter,
He's
the
talking about
mulch
the
comes
seed.
from stream quarter, not CWC, that should be stream. No, that has nothing
But we
to
get
do-
reimbursed for the.
Correct, whenever the
CWC.
CWC board meets and approves.
Soil and
payment
water
of that.
board.
We're probably in the 30,000.
It's soil and water. Okay,
That's
so
correct.
it's soil
Yeah.
and water. So there's no deadline, so, I don't know, I mean,
It
that's.
wasn't
up
the
to board,
reimbursement
but-
that I was concerned about, was having the product.
He was just worried about running.
He wants to
Running
keep
out.
running, keep
I
moving,
know.
so he doesn't run out.
I didn't
I'm
anticipate
saying-
their problem, but I didn't realize they were gonna put down,
But they were gonna take that
that's a,
much.
yeah, that one, a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna, that's up to you, if you wanna put those,
I'm just thinking
stipulations in
that it
there.
would help to keep the program moving
Now,
forward.
it might not get used
and,
between now and then, but I know we'll have.
You never know.
I don't know, yeah. I went from half the year's supply of seed down to, oh my gosh. Maybe I'm overreacting, but I really don't wanna run out.
My only concern is I don't wanna contaminate the bidding process by
Right, yes,
saying,
yep,
okay,
yeah.
uh,
Why
Yeah,
I leave it to,
exactly, yeah.
yeah.
I think we're just waiting.
We always have a special
We
meeting
have a special meeting.
if we have to, but, I was trying to think of a way just to facilitate the service going forward so that we don't.
I agree with Charlie, if it gets out that we're willing to pay 5% more, I mean,
Yeah.
they could just up the price on it, so.
if,
I was
Well-
trying to, I can't remember exactly what the price was last year, how much it went up, but it was in that neighborhood.
Seed went up a little bit, I think from $59 a bag to $63, and that's for a 50-pound bag. And that was because of the clover.
And that was what I was thinking,
the
money-wise,
mulch went up.
it was about that much.
Not
so.
much.
Well,
Went
the
up like 20,
bid
25
opening is at 10 a.m., so
Mhm.
even if you wanted to hold a special board meeting that same evening, just
Right.
for that purpose,
Mhm.
we could do that, and then he could call the company and
Right.
move
Okay.
forward ahead, with the low bidder.
Yep.
But back up to the engineering, did you want to vote on that to move forward with an engineer for the the stormwater retrofit?
I'm
More
thinking.
planning and assessment.
Yeah, I think at this point, you've got the sense of the board to go forward. We haven't committed any funds, to see.
So we don't have to vote because it's not committing
Okay.
time.
We had some conversation with him,
Yeah,
and I know he is familiar with the CWC, or they were. They even came to one of our highway superintendent's meetings, and this is quite a few years ago. It was in, and I don't know if they've done anything more with that, but they made the contacts, and I believe Kim was still there, so I know the connection like Vermont has that, they may have to do a little brushing up. Or I could, and if that, it might not be something they're not interested in doing.
I think that if we have no money on the line, certainly getting money to do this,
Well, you have to-
certainly all
And
the more
actually, the
bid.
planning and assessment is an application to put,
Right,
to go forward with that, which is the same as any of the other ones, but.
but I mean, it's free money to us, basically.
And the
we
way
need to
I
do it as
envision
long
it
as-
without, for sure, is this is just filling out an application to see if we are eligible to do an assessment.
Okay.
And the assessment would be, yes, we do, and then the assessment, and I think the assessment's where there'd be a lot of field work, I mean, that's to have an engineer study something, they better go out and look at it and do a little bit more.
My concern was just that we hire this engineer, they don't.
To fill out the
they don't-
application,
They don't
yeah.
find anything, and then we've paid for an engineer, and we've got no money and whatever, but that doesn't sound like that's where that's leading, but I think the application.
I cannot guarantee you that we will be successful with the application, but
But
that's
it
just
doesn't
based
cost
on
us
the
anything
app.
to do the application, so we should do it.
Unless they might charge a little bit, I can't say,
and that's
I
what
can't speak for that without having conversation with them. But it seems like the last time we did it, there's too many cobwebs up here, but I'm thinking that was the understanding that we, in other words, do this right and be very persuasive, water quality.
Okay.
I mean, if we could get something like that, that would be it seems to be one of our biggest problems.
we have the documentation to support future grant or future projects that we'll go forward with.
Okay.
So more money comes out, we have the documentation to go.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone should have a copy of my financial reports. I also have the annual Humane Society agreement for the dog control officer when a stray dog has to be taken there. That will need board approval for the supervisor to enter into the agreement with the Humane Society.
I'll entertain a motion authorizing the supervisor to sign.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
I would like permission, the fee, I believe, is, let me just confirm this before I say it. $149. It's a one-day seminar, and it's gonna be held in Binghamton, and it will go over all of the legal and payroll laws, basically to keep us up to date and to go over like the software programs, how to implement them into the software program. That's gonna be held on September 13th. So I'm seeking permission to attend that one day, sign up and do.
I'd move, we approve it and we cover your costs.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
Okay, and we just received a request for Veterans Plaza for August 15th. And this will be for a networking social, and this will be put on by the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce. So if everyone's in agreement of that, I will send,
What are they gonna do down there, do we know? No, we don't.
what's actually
I
going on down
think
there?
we have a member from the chambers, could you?
Yep, so this will be our our inaugural, it's a hootenanny. And what we're doing is, we're coordinating it to time it with the county fair, which is when we have the most visitors coming into Walton. And to encourage visitors to the town to stop at area businesses and maybe shop locally, using Veterans Plaza and offering free lunch will encourage people to stop in town, check out our businesses, maybe shop a little before or after they come from the fair. So it's one way that the Delaware County Chamber can assist the economy, the local economy.
Thank you.
So if anybody is all in agreement
No
with that?
objection here.
Okay. Alright, and then, last month I attended the Schoharie Town Clerks Association and discussing with them how successful their partial tax collection payment is. I'm just informing you that I'm gonna research it a little bit more and bring it back to the board. But if everyone got a copy of the town topics, there was a thing in there about partial payments on real property taxes. Schoharie, all of their tax collectors do this, and January through April is the time that the tax collectors collect. And during that time, they allow partial payments. Now, they do have certain requirements. For instance, if there's a re-levy on theirs for school taxes, that partial payment, the first payment has to be that re-levy total amount. And then the next payment could be, your tax payment. So they can break that up between January and April. And then whatever still left gets returned to the county as unpaid, just as before. I just need to do a little bit more research on that, but I'd like to bring it back to the board. That it would require a local law, and that's something that you can decide later.
I've lived in communities where they've done that, they've split the tax up to either 6-month increments or in a window. We have a lot of folks that don't have that ready income, and
That helps the constituents pay it, and they can keep their house and pay it.
and the goal is that the taxes be paid in full by the end, and that's what we're looking for, so,
Great.
so,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Just curiosity question. Was the town clerk from Blenheim there?
I don't know, I met so many that day, I'm not positive.
Okay, I'm just curious because she's open from 6 to 8 p.m. on Monday nights.
Oh, wow.
That's her schedule.
Oh, that's
That's your
it?
whole
That's it.
thing?
That's
Okay.
it for the week, from 6 to 8
8
p.m.
on Monday night.
On Monday nights.
So she may not have been there, because this was a Wednesday.
We had to go, I had to go file 2 DCs in the town of Jefferson because I couldn't find her or get to her.
Wow,
And we only have 72 hours to do
Right.
that,
right, wow.
I've never met her, but I did talk to her on the phone one day, and she said, "Oh, I'll be open from 6 to 8 on Monday night if you want to come over."
Well, that's convenient.
And that's all I've got.
Code enforcement.
I got just a couple couple of things, due to a ton of scheduling conflicts, I'm looking to now try to get a year's worth of training in September, to maintain my code certification. It would be in Liverpool, it's actually the state fire marshals convention.
Not
And,
England, right?
what's that?
Not England.
I wish.
I was going with you.
Yeah. Cost basically breaks down to about $350 per municipality. That would include registration, it's $400 registration, and I'm guessing about $100 a night. It's usually what it is for 3 nights. So it would break down to $350 per municipality, of course, split with the village. But that would take care of my code training for the year. So I'm looking for permission to do that. That would be September 5th through the 8th.
5th to the 8th, yes.
I think that's a good deal.
Can we approve, I mean, he obviously doesn't have reservations yet, can we approve it at that money, and then if it needs to be more,
Up
we have
to.
to? Up to, yeah.
I'll entertain a motion approving up to $350 for Steve to attend.
Move
the training.
that.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
On the CRS front, I finally got a definitive answer that recertification will be in February, February 1st, when that takes place. Because we're looking to go to the next level, that might change a little bit, because that's a little more of a lengthy process, because they basically re-swear us all over again. But sometime this winter, probably before the 1st of February, we'll have recertification for that. What else have I got going on? The Veterans Plaza. I have a summer helper who would be more than happy to dig a trench to run a line, electric line from the pavilion to the Christmas tree. I took a look at prices and we're looking at probably in the neighborhood of about $200 to get that electric line in. So I'm just looking for approval to spend that money, and we can get an outlet over by the Christmas tree, so that's ready to be lit up.
And we've talked about this in the past. I'll entertain a motion to go forward.
Make that motion.
I just have a question.
Yes.
Are we gonna run wire up to the flagpole eventually to light that better? Or-
That needs to be, I guess, decided if we want to do that.
I was thinking while we're doing it,
Right,
should we be doing that too?
How much more would that be, do you think?
it's probably gonna double the cost, because it's about,
What is the cost for to hook up to NICEAG, or to just run the lines?
no, it's just running the line from our box to.
Who's running the line? The kid, you have, your summer help is,
Yeah,
digging the trench.
I'll have them dig the trench.
but who's running
We'll
the
lay it in
actual
there.
line?
That part of it, I can handle myself, that's.
It's mainly for material, I assume,
Yeah,
right?
yes. So if we wanna go to the flagpole, then like I said, it's probably gonna come close to doubling the cost.
I think we should do both and get them out of the way myself.
Yeah,
We don't
I
have to
agree.
budget for that and stuff, I think we both should do it, I mean, I think we
We
need to
can
light
find
the
the money
flag.
someplace to take care of it.
So I'll entertain a motion up to $400 to run power to the tree and the flagpole.
Also move.
Motion made.
Oh, I'm sorry, I
No,
stepped on your
no,
toes, excuse me,
doesn't
let
matter.
me get my feet back off it and I'll settle into it.
Motion made and
You can make
seconded.
it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thanks,
I
Steve.
don't remember if I reported to the board, it may have been in the meeting that I missed, or happened just before the meeting that I missed. I did arrange to get a contractor to get the bluestone set down there. It's gonna be at his convenience, and it's the busy time of year, but we'll get it set so that we don't have to worry about that.
There were quite a few people down there the last farmer's market, so that was a good thing to see, I thought, right on Main Street.
I hope there'll be a lot more people there on Saturday, there's an event there on Saturday, there's gonna be a bunch of people there then too.
And I just today ran into somebody, actually, guy that works for the same contractor that's gonna do the bluestone is, I don't know if he's contacted Rhonda or anybody yet, but, apparently he's looking to do some, he's a brown belt in karate, and he's looking to do some classes down on Veterans Plaza, so sort of some self-defense classes. Just, I don't have any of the gory details other than he's really excited about doing this. So, would be interesting.
So he just has to fill out the
Yep,
form? and-
yep, I'll point him in the right direction.
Health insurance, right?
It's, I just bring that up because I know it's a little iffy, but at least people are interested in looking at it, and I think that's great. And I think that's all I got.
I have a question for you, Steve. There's water running down, I hear it's from the apartments up on, behind Prospect. It's running down into the road. You know where my old house is? Oh, my.
Yes,
Where you saw it.
I'm well aware of that, and I've received complaints in the past. When the apartments went in up there, there was a swale put in to catch said water. The swale has not been maintained, and ultimately that comes down to the people are gonna have to go fist fight with the apartments, with the people that
What
run
is
the
a
apartments.
swale?
A swale is just a ditch to catch the water and redirect it.
And that's not something that we can enforce that they have to have, if it had to be put in when they were there, how wide?
It becomes if you, it doesn't fall in the realm of code enforcement, okay? If you create a drainage issue for your neighbor, that's a personal matter between you and the neighbor. It's a private matter.
It's not on my land, it's the one next to it, but it comes down and into the street in like this winter, when it came down, it froze the
Oh, yeah.
sidewalk there,
Yeah.
which is the sidewalk in front of my house.
Yep.
And stuff, so,
And
my
at
tenant
one
asked me
time,
about it.
and that's also, I mean, I've been there, I looked at it this winter. There was some drainage that went along that driveway, down through there, and dumped into the state storm drain as it should. That's been filled in over the years, dirt's got moved around.
From their driveway. your
From their driveway,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. And that somewhat got corrected by the homeowner there. I'm sure, not fixed completely, but that did get corrected and kind of redirected a little bit. But it's just, it's on a side hill, it's gonna continue to be an issue.
But the issue then is between the homeowner and the apartment.
Right, it's gonna be between the two private property owners.
Well, I was asked about it, so I said I would ask you, so thank you.
Anything else? If not, my turn. Just want to announce to the folks that are watching this online that on July 27th and 28th, there's going to be a public forum. Thursday, July 27th at 1 p.m. at the Fire Hall, and Thursday evening at 6:30 p.m. at Soil and Water Conservation at their conference room. And the next day on Friday, the 28th of July at 6:30 p.m. at the Fire Hall. And the purpose of it is to solicit input from the community as to ways that we can utilize the Water Street area after the soil is removed, the fill is removed from there, and what we can do to help improve Delaware Street. A few weeks back, members of the Emergence along Delaware Street met with the consultant, and some of the questions he asked were, what do you like about Walton, and what would you like to see changed? And what don't you like? So it's a good opportunity to encourage folks to come join us. Again, it's at the Fire Hall on Thursday afternoon, Soil and Water Conservation Thursday evening, and Friday evening at the Fire Hall again. That's the July 27th and 28th.
Who is running that track?
It will,
Delaware County Chamber,
it's the Flood Commission has commissioned it, yes.
or, thank you.
We're still working to make progress on the flood gauge, both for Eastbrook and for Westbrook. The Ray Dutcher over at Soil and Water Conservation is pursuing, trying to get some firm figures as to just what it will cost to put the gauges in. Originally, the USGS said it cost $81,000. That was for a very extensive system, something that we really don't need. It'll be far less than that. So just want to let folks know that we're still making progress on that and we'll continue to pursue that. Also, one of the projects that was suggested with the local flood analysis for the Delaware River was the relocation of braking motors. And again, we're continuing to pursue that. We've talked to the Flood Commission, again, addressed that at our meeting last Thursday. There's a contract that's been prepared. We've sent our inputs up to into the city to work on that. I think they've incorporated most of our comments. So again, just the intent is to, Keith, would you mind kind of addressing that?
My only comment, basically, I want to thank the town board for supporting this. It's been kind of dragging out for a long time, and it took a lot of different agencies to get final approval through the state of New York to get to this point. And we're at a point right now where I don't think the city will move forward unless they have some signed contracts, mine as well as the town's. My attorney's ready, and we've got our contract set, which I'm gonna sign this week. The agreement, the city has agreed on the price. Haven't got a problem with that, so we've got to a point where I really hope that we can get signed agreements and whatever from the town to get moving forward on it. This will could take up to 14 months. I've been in touch with Dave Canada, New York City DEP, and also Arlene Weissman, who's the project coordinator for property purchasing and whatever. And we're at a point now where we're gonna do it. They're all in coordination with us right now. So now strike while the iron's hot to get them to move forward on it. And I think if we can coordinate both the town's contract, my contract, signed at the same time, shows that we're set to go. Now the ball's in their court. And if we can do that, I think, we're still looking at a time frame before we can go to closing, but this has been dragging out.
And you would relocate to
I'll be relocating to 245, which actually I've got more square footage building-wise there than I have where I am now. But and that's set up originally. It was the old NICEAG building, and then Marlette had as a industrial building and whatever. And I've been updating that over the period of time. Back after the flood of '06, I put new roof on the whole thing, the whole building and whatever. So, and we're working on some other stuff with CWC, which doesn't affect this part as far as getting the agreement with New York City, and that's kind of, before that's going to get pursued, we have to get this into them, and I don't think they'll move forward from now until they receive both my contract signed and the town's contract. So if that's kind of the reason I'm here tonight is if there's questions or anything that I can answer.
For the public that might be watching this, I'll read from the local flood analysis for the Delaware River that describes the project. Motors property was found to lower flood water surfaces by removing Breaking Motors commercial building, lowering the property to match the 2-year modeled water surface elevation, and widening the channel to match upstream and downstream active channel width. The Braking Motors facility would be relocated to a site near Subway restaurant down the street, as Keith said. And I have a picture of, again, extracted from that document.
So they're purchasing it and they're removing the building?
Yes.
We become the owners
But
of
we
the
don't have to worry
property.
about removing it out of the building?
No, it's not us. But we do take title to the property, and we'll have some maintenance costs involved with it over the years, and
Right.
make it into like a
Where is
boat
the village
launcher.
with this? I mean, they talked to the village too.
Yes, then again, that came up at the flood commission meeting. The mayor is interested in the village taking possession of the property instead of the town. I explained to him that, we felt that the town is probably financially in better shape to be able to take on that responsibility, but if the village wants the property, we'll step aside and let them take it.
I really hate to see the issue getting confused. If the general conversation between New York City, myself, the town, if you want to turn around and give it to the village down the road, so be it, but rather than confuse the issue now, and this came from the city to me, that, no, because I originally thought it was gonna go to the village too. But he said, no, it's gonna go to the town. Okay, it makes no difference to me, but.
Well, we don't have a problem with taking it either, but we don't want to step on the village's toes.
Right, like he said, we don't wanna create
But,
more,
yeah.
that may be, make it instead of 14 months, 24 months or
Yeah,
longer, so.
and if,
The other issue that comes up with this is that the whole town will probably use the property. And if we have a boat launch or a picnic table or whatever down there.
exactly.
And the whole town is much better suited to absorb the cost of maintenance rather than putting on the village taxpayers. The whole
I
town,
agree with all of that.
if the whole town is gonna use it, and let the whole town pay for it, and not put an additional burden on the village. And
I
quite
agree with
frankly,
every bit of
villages,
that.
the village's
I
taxes
just wanna know where
are
the
too
village
high to
was
begin with.
in that, because I don't want it to become a contention between the village.
Right, well, my point I'm trying to make is just simply that, the whole community is better served and by the town taking it over. And that the, village residents are also better served by having it belong to the town. Their taxes are,
Aren't gonna be,
I won't say unreasonable, but they're quite significant right now. Adding more cost to the village makes no sense.
Plus the fact that it's gonna potentially confuse the issue where we're at. I mean, it's taken a long time to get to this point. Let's not throw another monkey wrench in the deal if we can get it finalized, at least. So then we'll put the ball in New York City's court and say, hey, okay, we've done our part, you've done your part, it's signed, okay, if there's whatever, let's get going on it, and then we can pursue it. Then down the road, 5 years, 10 years, 20, whatever, you wanna turn around, give it to the village, do it, that's,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, the
just
town
like
has
our
that.
Veterans Plaza.
Veterans Plaza, and we have the
Yeah.
option to turn that
So,
over to them.
yeah.
We have to keep
Okay.
it 5 years.
Right,
Mhm.
yeah,
So-
there's a time frame.
I think you've all seen the contract.
Yep.
Our attorney has reviewed it and she's comfortable with it. So I'd ask board approval to go ahead and authorize me to sign the contract.
the only other question, and I'm not sure I have the whole thing, so let me ask this. What oil and any kind of, seepage, whatever, I mean, it's been a car dealership, so
Yep.
any of that, whose responsibility is that if they're tear down the building, they find that there's something,
There are several cars buried under it, and they're fully aware of that. When Jack Brakey extended it, I was a young boy watching across the river, brought in a lot of derelict cars, put soil on top of it, so they're
but
fully
you could do
aware.
that.
Yeah, they're fully aware of that. For years and years, you could see petroleum seeping out. So that is something but they're aware of it,
But New York City's gonna clean that up,
yes.
before it ever gets turned to us.
Mhm.
That would be my only hesitation at all in any of that, is that we don't down the line have to do some big environmental
Remediation.
I'd be happy to make the motion, we move forward, and authorize you to sign the contract.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. Let's do a roll call vote on this, please.
Councilman Armstrong.
Aye.
Councilman McGovern.
Aye.
Councilwoman Wood.
Aye.
Supervisor Gregory.
Aye.
All in favor, motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Good luck in your new spot. When you get there.
Yeah, well,
14 months. Okay, here we go.
Santa wanted to, I have to tell you, Santa wanted to know whether they could still have hot dogs at Brady's.
that's right.
Chances are good, probably.
As I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure probably, but
As fast as New York City operates, yeah.
let's hope it's just this year. That he can still be there.
and folks, if you want, after the meeting, take a look at the map to see what we're talking about. I've got a copy of that here. Okay, moving on to the next item. We talked about this in the last month's meeting, and just want to let you know that I'm continuing the response to the New York City Watershed Land Acquisition Program, their 2017 town level assessments. Basically working to try to document just what the impact is. As you remember, a couple months ago, the County Planning Department came forward and presented what the buildable land is in the town of Walton. The city did their analysis, but they failed to do a lot of, take in things in consideration such as the state land, Bear Spring Mountain, this is another state parcel. What do we have? Agricultural easements on, conservation easements. So, still working on that. I think you may have seen a draft copy of it, but still trying to get as much facts. Working with the Soil and Water County, Soil and Water Conservation and the Watershed Affairs to try to build a strong package given. So when I have this put together, I'll send it to the board so you all can comment on it. But just wanted to bring you up to speed on that. The next item, do you have any questions on that before? Okay, I received a note today, a handwritten note, which I will read. It's unsigned, so the person who sent this, if they would like to contact me, I'd be more than willing to talk with them in greater detail. The note reads, Mr. Gregory, please keep pushing the fact that one governing body for Walton is the best and first step needed in things trying to save Walton. The current village situation needs the town to step in, help before it's too late. I am very concerned. Please speak up and save Walton. Thank you for all your work. So, again, the person that sent that to us, and you all have a soft copy of this I sent to you as well, and a paper copy. If anybody would like to give me a call and talk additional on that, I'd be more than willing to either meet with them or talk on the phone. Okay. Now we'll go on to those kind of the town-centric items. Any questions on that before I move on to some of the county items? If not, I'd like to do kind of a recap of some of the activities going up, county update, if you will. There's been a lot of talk about the relocation of the Office of the Aging. The supervisors voted on at our last board meeting to authorize purchasing a location of 97 Main Street in Delhi. What happened is the Office of the Aging was notified that the church that we've been renting for the past 39 years had been sold, and originally they said we needed to be out of the building by the 1st of July. That's been pushed back a bit, but we were struggling to find a location to relocate the Office of the Aging. We looked at several locations throughout the county. Here in Walton, we looked at at least 2, I think maybe 3 places, but having adequate, we were looking for a commercial kitchen, or a kitchen big enough to support the meals, office space, and the places that we looked at here in Walton would not have worked, didn't have the adequate structure to do that. There was, property, again, as I mentioned, 97 Main Street in Delhi. The restaurant that was there had gone out of business, it became available. It has the office space that we need, it has the place, right now, when they cook the meals in the current facility, and then they take it to a church in Delhi to to serve the people. Here at the new site, they'll be able to serve as well as cook right there and have the offices up there. It's handicapped accessible too, which is one of the downsides of the current facility that they're at. You walk in upstairs, you have to go downstairs to where it reach the offices, and some of our elderly really have a hard time doing that. So, now, the cost, it was, I give it to you straight, the owner, current owner, bought it for $500,000, and is selling it for considerably more than that. We were able to bring the price down to $675,000. The county, the elderly, senior citizens groups in the county have kicked in $80,000 to help offset the expense because they see it as a very good location. It will have dedicated parking spaces behind the building. But folks are, and Wayne Marshfield did a very good job of explaining the whole, how we got to where we were on this. Is it the optimum? No, but when we looked for options, there just weren't any options that could, in the time frame, it would have been much, much more expensive to build a whole new facility. So I was one of the supervisors that voted for it. There were some supervisors that voted against it. But I want to let the folks know why I did it. It's taking care of our seniors, and we just could not find adequate facility that would serve the purposes. With regards to, there's also been a lot of talk about the Department of Public Works, and they're going to be relocating the new facility they looked at. Originally, we had a presentation again at the last board meeting. There were 3 sites that they were considering. One was in Delancey, one the current location in Delhi, which again is in the floodplain, another up in South Courtright. The supervisors asked them to add a 4th site for consideration. It had been there, it dropped off, we put it back on the list, and that's on Route 10. For those that, the old Gavitt Farm, Bishop's Farm now. So again, looking at those properties to try to find the best place to relocate. With that in mind, this Wednesday, July 12th at 7 p.m., if people would like to learn more about it, there's going to be a public meeting up at Delaware Academy, hosted by the chairman of the Public Works Committee and the Commissioner of Public Works for the county. So folks that want to find out more about the different options and where we are going with that, again, that's Wednesday, July 12th at 7 p.m. up at Delaware Academy. We still are looking at moving forward with the mental health relocation consolidation in the county. The contractor met with the different agencies this last week, both the 2 sites here in Walton and the one up in Hamden. Sitting down with them, what are your needs, what are your expectations, what do you see, trying to get from the people that actually use, the staff that will actually use the facility, what are you looking for, what's the best site. So again, meeting about every 2 weeks to recap that. And on Wednesday, July 26th, there's going to be a shared services public forum open to the public, again, up at Delhi at the county office buildings. And the goal of that is, are there ways that we can save money by sharing services or eliminating duplicative services in the county? So if folks have any ideas as to how we could do that, please let me know, or feel free to come to the public forum. You can also let Mayor Snow know. We're both part of the team that's working this throughout the county. Last of all, but certainly not least, we've got copies of the Delaware County 2017 travel guide. And Ms. Brown, would you? I'm real good at catching people when they're real busy taking notes. And but as with the chamber, would you please give us kind of a rundown on that?
Sure. Actually, the chamber was not in charge of doing the project, but the tourism director and tourism office, which is overseen by the Delaware County Chamber, did actually put the guide together this year. You can see it's quite different than it has been in previous years. If you want to zoom in on how beautiful it looks. These guides are being placed throughout the metropolitan area to encourage visitors to come to our area. One thing of note, you'll see that placed right here in Walton, several places in Walton, one of them being Bear Spring Mountain, is featured in this guide as one of the few New York State parks that have handicap accessibility for multiple activities on the mountain. It is a great product, and if you are interested in getting some guides for your business or for yourself, you can pick them up at the Delaware County Chamber at 5.5 Main Street in Delhi at the East Center, and enjoy.
Great, that's very professionally. Very nice.
Vacation, smooth.
Okay, committee reports.
Charlie, before we do that, can I on the Office for the Aging, I just have a couple questions. When they prepare meals, are they distributed throughout the county, or are they just right there? Or?
Yeah, the Delhi office does meals for Delhi, but some of I think they do at Andes, the other communities in the area, so they actually cook them and then take them out there.
Okay, I just wondered how.
Walton.
No, we have, they
We have
cook the Walton meals right here.
Senior meals.
Yeah.
So, it's like, this is a county-run thing, but I'm gonna assume that most of the people that utilize it are from
The Delhi
the
community.
Delhi
Yeah.
community.
And that was one of the challenges when they were looking at where do we go. The farther away from their primary customer base, the more challenging it would have been.
So who does this type of thing in the other communities, and in what locations? Do they have locations that the county rents, or how is that done?
I'll
Yeah,
get,
they don't own the Walton one, it's the church, so so you're saying
Well,
why they're
I'm
not
not-
renting instead of buying?
I'm not against this, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you know,
Just questioning why they're
is
renting.
all this money,
instead of buying.
all this money that's being spent on this just benefiting basically one community, or maybe a couple.
okay, I see. The senior meals portion is part of it, but a lot more of it is the office space
Right,
for the offices.
Okay.
So, even aside from
Right.
having the,
okay.
So the agency offices will be here, that's why the county's buying it.
right,
It will also have the meal site.
that's,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
But let me get you an answer, and remind me, I'll bring it up at the next meeting, where the other sites are throughout the
Okay.
county and how they work. Anything else?
I had a couple of questions, or a couple of comments, I guess. One, relative to where the Office for the Aging is going. A lot of people have made comments that the owner of the property is making quite a windfall. And he is. And it's the old story, I think, of timing is everything. If you had more time, I think there might be other options that might have come available to the county, but I think at this point in time, they've probably done the best that they can. It's not something that I like very much, but you can't have everything the way you want it. You have to live with what's available and make the best decisions that you can at the time. The other thing that, where we do have time, and I don't fully understand the reasoning behind it, is why the county is not considering the NYSEG building up in Hawley Station, or whatever you want to call it. It used to be Hawley Station years ago when we had a train. 500 years ago when I was a kid. But NYSEG had a building up there that's big enough for all of their big trucks and their comparable to the trucks and equipment that the highway department uses. They're commercial vehicles, you know, some of them are 10-wheelers, some of them are only 6, but I mean, you know, the doors had to be big enough for those big bucket trucks that are 12, 14 feet high. And NYSEG wants to get rid of that property, so it's on the market pretty cheap if you really want to negotiate and buy it. And I think that should be given some priority, and it's not even on the list.
I'll ask the question.
Okay.
At least it's near the cabin farm.
Yeah, it's right next door to the cabin farm, I mean, and not only that, but it's right next door to the fire training center and a lot of land the county already owns.
Well, there was someone, and I don't want to say who, because I'm not actually sure, somebody that suggested that the land that the county already owned and then buy a private piece of property next to it would be sufficient, but apparently they didn't think it was sufficient enough to build the building, and it was a bigger, they wanted a bigger building.
Well, you know, what you want
And what you
what's
get.
practical are two
Exactly.
different things sometimes, but
And
I know
to
NYSEG
say
is
that they
trying
didn't
to
want to
dump
move
that
out
and
trucks
close
to
that
work on them,
station.
I thought was, not sufficient.
you gotta be able to put a 10-wheel plow truck in a garage that would hold 2
NYSEG trucks.
NYSEG trucks back to back.
Right. Good thought.
Okay, those are the only 2 things, and I think,
Thanks.
you know, like I said, I'm not real crazy about the meals program and where they went, but it's probably the best choice you've got, and under the circumstances, you make best out of what you can have. You know, I think there may be a couple other facilities down the road, a year maybe from now, that might.
The only thing I wonder is if you could split them up and have the offices be somewhere and another church take on it. I know that this was really kind of a great place because of being able to make the meals there and serve them, which I think is a great thing, and the handicap accessibility and all of those things.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of money for that to happen there, whereas in most communities, I think it's happening in churches, and they aren't commercial kitchens either, and, so that's another wish list thing that maybe doesn't need to happen. But I don't know what kind of office space they need, and whether it would cost as much money to rent 2 different places, and stuff, but I don't know that because we haven't looked at it.
Do
But
the best you can, and
I think Kevin's point of these meals are pretty much Delhi's meals, maybe a little bit of the surrounding area, but that's a big chunk for that.
Well, especially if you're paying a premium for the building because it has a commercial kitchen in it. Where the office space is probably a lot cheaper to find, so.
So, anyway, and one other little comment here, and
It's coming soon.
our friends from the press are gonna absolutely kill me. Because she's gonna shoot me here in a minute. The last I knew that Hanford Mills was Hanford Mills, not Hanford Hills Museum.
He's looking at the guide.
The guide has Hanford Hills written on it. So I would be
Oh,
looking.
in the travel guide. I thought you were talking about the paper.
I didn't pay attention.
I'm sorry, the travel guide has Hanford Hills Museum.
Got it.
The last I knew, it was still Hanford Mills.
At last I knew too.
Where
Where is it? Where is it, Len?
It's on the page opposite the Hanford Mills.
49,
Or
Page 39?
49.
all down on the bottom there.
Oh, is there a page number?
Oh, 39.
49 is
Market
where,
at
49 is
Dollar
where it
Valley.
is.
We moved the farmer's market this year, and they probably didn't know that before they went to press on this.
Page 39 has the.
Because our first one was just the other day.
39 or 49?
49.
39 is about the farmer's market. They have the-
And the photo is from Daniel Penfield, Hanford Hills Museum in East Meredith.
I don't see where there's.
Oh, right here.
Well, see, it says
Oh, the
Hanford
photo credit on the bottom.
Hills, okay. Oh, just the photo credit.
I didn't read the rest of it.
Wow.
That caught my eye.
This one who took a nice picture.
I need proofing to that
Okay, moving right along.
You're hired as the proofer, Len. Hired as the proofer.
Next time, you proof the whole thing.
That's what I used to do, if you recall.
Any other committee reports?
Yes, I have, we have the new farmer's market, which of course has changed since that book, but, on Wednesdays. The only complaint, I heard people were loving it, they were so glad to see it, they had no idea it was coming because they didn't possibly know that it was coming. But we got the information out there, but they can't, that happens. But they only go till 2, they actually stay till about 3:30. But the complaints I've heard, which I think are valid, are how do you get there for your work and stuff. So, as we've talked about, we wanted more, we would like to have more, so Delaware Bounty has lost their spot up in Delhi. They are farmers that were in the E building in Delhi and stuff. Some of those farmers would like to have a place to sell. They would be interested in doing another one. The woman I talked to today would be interested in doing Saturdays from like 10 to 4, which would be beautiful.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure of the regulations. Now, if you take EBT payments, you have to have a farmer's market manager or something, which we don't have. This woman has said that she would be willing to do the training. It's an online training and she'd be willing to do that. But that would mean like we're running it. The town is running it, and I don't know that we're interested in doing that. I talked to Cornell Cooperative Extension. I didn't actually ask them whether they'd be interested in running a second one. I don't know who else might be interested. These people would go and run it, and this woman, the farmer's manager has to be on site. This woman says yes, she would be on site. She will ask some more of her Delaware Bounty friends. At this point, some of them are, going to be committed to other places and stuff. But I told her also that we would entertain other days during the week other than the Wednesday, other days during the week. There's also some talk about, it's Wednesdays and there's a very successful one in Delhi on Wednesday. I don't think we can do anything about that. That's when Cornell is there. And, just because Delhi and Walton, they're two different communities, so I think that there's enough to go around there. But I would like to see later in the evening, and stuff. I don't think that's something that's going to lend to Cooperative Extension's deal because they have their deal in place for, I think, whatever does it that day, and that's why they have it. I think there's reasons. But how do we want to pursue the second one on Saturday and how to go about it? This woman I talked to at Cooperative Extension, whose name I left on a sticky note on my desk, very helpfully, because it wasn't Jeannie Tarlett I had talked to, Val something. And she said that there's farmers markets that pop up all over that don't go through this farm manager. They can just be there. There probably has to be some kind of insurance to be on there. But if they don't take food stamps and EBT, then they can be whenever. So I think for the sake of getting it done, and she could start this Saturday if this was approved. I told her I didn't know that was gonna happen, but she's excited to do it, she's interested in doing it. I think we could do it, we can't accept EBT, I think it'd be worth doing that, maybe down the road, we could do that if she's willing to be the farm manager and whatever, we could look more into that. Right now, I just think it would be nice to have another farmer's market, and on a Saturday, I think would be wonderful, at those hours.
Yeah, I think we can start it now and then worry about the others.
Yeah, and then we can get more.
That's something we can work on later. So.
Because first of all, they have this the Wednesday that they can use their vouchers and cards on and stuff, so it was Saturday, whatever. So I guess my question is, what are we willing to do? What would she need to do that? I mean, is it just an application to Veterans Plaza?
$50 deposit and then.
Refundable as long as it's left, right? And stuff, but
And then
what
the
about
insurance.
insurance?
We requested that it have liability insurance.
And then in what amount?
So,
I don't know that this Delaware Bounty has that insurance, or it doesn't, that's my question. Because we're kind of at loose ends at this point because of losing the e-space.
Let's see it.
Can I make a suggestion, something you might want to consider? You know, those people up in Delhi on Wednesdays do very well. Maybe they would like to come en masse to Walton on Saturdays as a group.
When I started.
So if you maybe wanted to have
Who
somebody
is
to
that?
contact them, I don't know, I'm not, I'm just telling
You
you.
know who it is that does Delhi on Wednesdays?
Greater Delhi Chamber of Commerce.
So they're not gonna come to Walton.
No, but
And
they're
all of
vendors.
those vendors all have the whole season, they're already booked for the weekend, Saturdays and
Do they?
Sundays, yeah.
All
And
right,
I
so maybe
think
we
that
don't
that
go for
might
another
be true with
year.
a lot of other people like this woman
They
said,
split
because,
up.
Yeah.
because it's, you know.
They'll send somebody to one.
But like, what is the farm, you got it in here?
They have the Roundhouse near
Mr.
Roxbury.
Marsiglio's, Shady.
Stony
Creek.
Brook, yeah, Stony Creek. You know, they might come, Shady, what is, the milk? Summers Farm. They're all S's. Shady something, the kid frolicking with the lambs, come on, what is it? I can't think of it off the top of my head. But, you know, they're Walton farmers, they might come and stuff. So I think we could do it, but it'd be a matter of,
The big thing, when I talked to, I think it's the Roundhouse Farmers Market up in Roxbury, and she talked about the one in Delhi too, is having somebody that is in charge that can serve kind of as a gatekeeper.
and that's what this farmer's market
would-
manager
So
does.
having somebody willing to do that, I think that's,
I think that's a good idea, I don't, apparently it's not a requirement to do it. I think that as it got bigger, certainly that's something we should do, but that's not gonna happen this year. If we
Yeah.
want it to happen this year, I'm wondering if we could start small and limit it to 3 or 4 people or whatever, I don't know how to go about it. But I would be happy to pursue it if you give me a direction of how to go about it, I guess, is what I'm saying.
I like the idea of Saturdays. I think that would be good for the town. Having somebody that would be the person in charge, the go-to person, who's also held accountable, if there are problems, would be important too. He or she may choose to, may want to have some guidelines from the town as to, you know, what can I allow in, what can I not allow in. And having those guidelines, I think would be good for him or her that would serve as that function. But also, you know, some of the old timers remember that we had a street peddler years ago, hubcap man, that the village struggled for a long time to get cleared away. We don't want to.
We don't want to have man on the village, that's true.
Yeah, but I think if we have in our rules that we have to.
Well, I think that needs to be
that.
turned over to the attorney to establish some detailed rules and regulations of
No one
Legends
should
Plaza.
get bored.
I mean, at this point, if they were to do it, would, say the farms wanted to do it, they would have to fill out a thing too, I mean, ideally, one person fills out the thing and says, we're gonna have the Veterans Plaza Farmers Market. But, and she can get the vendors, like you're saying, and be in
Yeah.
charge. But in lieu of that this year, because I don't know that that can happen and get that together, if each vendor that was interested filled that out to use space on the same on Saturdays, blah, 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 and stuff, would that be something that we could do? They would be in and of themselves, our paperwork, I think, holds them accountable.
Yes.
They sent me the farmer's market rules that Cornell Cooperative Extension uses and their vendor form. And I can give you this, Carly, to see if there's something, if this says more than our village, our Veterans Plaza form and stuff. You know, maybe we just can't get this done this year, but if we could, even if it's small, I would rather, you know, these things generally start small.
Yeah.
And we could build from there. But this woman, and I'm sorry, I can't remember her name, hang on a second, and I'm sorry.
Maybe we can check, well, I mean, there's numerous other towns that do it on municipal property. Hancock, Delhi, Downsville, so, I mean, maybe we can check with them and see,
The woman's name is
Check
Linda
the contracts.
Jones,
yeah.
and she bakes breads and all types of gluten-free products. And they would also have fresh eggs, garlic, lettuce, and whatever, she's gonna reach out. She would have at least those baked goods, including bread and gluten-free bread and other things and those things, and is willing, like I say, to start as soon as we could get it together kind of thing. But,
The individual thing would cause a problem because like I received the applications and if that date's taken, I turn them down for that date.
Right.
If I don't know that they all want to participate together.
right.
And I wouldn't know, I
But
wouldn't
they would
have
have
that
to write
list.
on there like as part of the Veterans Plaza Farmers Market or something. They would have to be something that you could know that it was the same.
Right, and then we would have to either charge a fee for each one or adopt a regulation to waive a fee for others. So I think that has to be in writing, just so people can't come back on the town and say, wait a minute, you waived their fee but not my fee, or.
I think at this point, to do it this year, we would have to charge the fee each one. The fee is refundable to begin with, as long as it's left. Now, the problem with that would
Whose
be.
fee don't, yeah.
Right.
Who's,
Yeah.
Could we charge the fee to the coordinator or whatever that person would be? And he or she is taking responsibility, signing up for Veterans Plaza on this Saturday. And that person is responsible for,
Ideally, I would like to see it be that way. I mean, but we calling her the man, she would have to come up with then the liability insurance.
Which is gonna be a lot easier than trying to get it from
Everyone.
5, 6 different.
But the thing is that's when you open up the, how do we know who she lets there? You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas we would have more control if they each had to apply, that we would know who was going to be there. So those are my questions of how do we want to approach it. You know, I don't know. It may not be able to happen this year. It's already.
I leave it up to our council here
yeah,
to
let's,
straighten that out.
Carly, if you could,
Well, I mean,
Don't roll your eyes.
No, there isn't rolling. It's widening.
Patty, if you wouldn't mind working with Carly and
Yeah, if
see what we
if
can.
you can give me the foundation, I can,
Yeah, I can give you her number, and I told her I'd call her tomorrow and see what, we talked about it tonight, and see what it is. I'd have to tell her about the insurance. I don't know if that's a deal breaker. I don't know if Delaware Bounty maybe has insurance. They must have had insurance up at the E-building. I don't know as a co-op, or if they are a co-op or whatever. So those are the things, I'll try to find that out tonight, and whatever, and then I will give you a call. What's your number, Carmen?
865-6575.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I used to work there. 1,000 years ago. Well, I didn't work for there, I worked for Dream Street. It was
That's
the
good news, because the dimples are back and the eyes are back to normal, so I think we're okay, we're out of the woods now all of a sudden.
We
After
were
my-
in the woods.
You were. That's kind of true, there's no confessing to that, or avoiding it.
And the very last thing is that there is an event this weekend down there, and it's also got a pet adoption day. So there's vendors, and there's flea market vendors, and product vendors, and pet adoption. The pets will be there between 11 and 2, the rest is 9 to 4. That is my plug for the day.
Who's cleaning up after that?
The Walton Pride, who is benefiting from it. You, but you.
Anything else?
Oh my God.
If not, we have the abstract as listed in item 12 on the agenda. Motion made,
second.
motion made and seconded to approve, all in favor?
I
Aye.
have a question.
Opposed?
What is this? Right here. Not there.
No.
Okay, we're good. Hi.
Okay,
Did you like that, right, wrote that?
I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Folks, on the agenda, you can see the items that we're going to be talking about in executive.